सानहाए मशरिक़ी पाकिस्तान बिलाशुबा पाकिस्तान की सियासी तारीख का एक अंदोहनाक हादसा था कि जब आज़ादी के सिर्फ 24 बरस बाद मुल्क की आबादी के 54% वाला हिस्सा मशरिक़ी पाकिस्तान यानी सूबा बंगाल हमसे अलहदा हो गया। इससे भी ज्यादा अफसोसनाक पहलू यह है कि यह खाना जंगी के नतीजे में हुआ और करीब 9 माह तवील इस खाना जंगी के दौरान हजारों की तादाद में लोग कत्ल हुए। इस फौजी ऑपरेशन के दौरान हुई हलाकतों के बाइस बंगाल में पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ ऐसी नफरतें जन्मी जो आज तक मुकम्मल तौर पर मुंदमिल नहीं हो सकी। इस सानही के 4 कलीदी किरदारों में पाकिस्तान के फौजी सदर जनरल याहिया खान, पाकिस्तान पीपल्स पार्टी के सरबराह जुल्फिकार अली भुट्टो, अवामी लीग के सरबराह शेख मुजीबुर रहमान और भारतीय वजीर आजम इंदिरा गांधी इंतहाई अहमियत के हामिल हैं। यही 4 अफराद थे जिनके फैसले करोड़ों जिंदगियों पर असरअंदाज हो रहे थे। शेख मुजीबुर रहमान उस वक्त अवामी मकबूलियत की मेराज पर थे और ये सरशारी इनके लहजे में झलकती है जब वो कहते हैं कि 7 करोड़ अफराद जब किसी मकसद को हासिल करने का फैसला कर लें तो इन्हें दुनिया की कोई ताकत नहीं रोक सकती।
More bloodshed, but nothing can happen.
इसके बाद शेख मुजीब के याहिया खान से मुज़ाकरात भी हुए, ताहम इन्हें किसी सियासी महारत की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी क्योंकि दूसरी तरफ कोई सियासतदान नहीं बल्कि एक बावर्दी आमिर था जिसे सियासी अमल की पेचीदगियों का इदराक तो दूर मुज़ाकरात के बुनियादी ढंग से भी आगाही नहीं थी। यह खुद सियासी महारत से ही आरी था। इसने मुज़ाकरात कामयाब होने ही नहीं दिए। शेख मुजीब के लहजे में एक एतमाद बोल रहा था तो दूसरी तरफ याहिया खान कुछ ऐसे घबराए हुए दिखाई दिए जैसे कोई भी हारा हुआ सिपाही नजर आता है। वो तो इस सवाल पर ही लगता था जैसे बिल्कुल सफेद पड़ गए हों कि आप शायद जमीनी हकायक से कट चुके हैं।
The border is not a defined line. It's a mass of trees and bushes and riverine warfare. And these people who you saw were not refugees from East Pakistan. I can arrange a lot of influx of refugees into Pakistan if you like to come with me to East Pakistan. I'll show you how they're coming from India. But they're not coming in, nor are my refugees going back to India.
You're saying that the people I saw coming with their kitchens and their houses on their heads and all their belongings with them were
Yes.
not refugees from Pakistan?
No.
My impression is, President, that, and it seems to be one that's shared by many other observers who have visited the camps in India, that the Bengalis are leaving because they feel insecure and because they feel that there is a persecution against them by the army which will continue.
No.
Is it in your thinking that there should be persecution against these people?
I think any government which would like to persecute their own people is nothing but exaggerated lies. Army has persecuted nobody. Army has tried to save 70 million people of East Pakistan against armed rebels of East Pakistan who were excited and incited by a new theory and philosophy of Awami League for secession. The vast majority of Pakistan, in East Pakistan, have heaved a sigh of relief that this trend and this movement and this agitation has stopped because of army action.
So you're saying, to your knowledge, there has never been, and there is not now, a selective policy of genocide of any kind in East Pakistan?
Most certainly not.
The most common criticism against you abroad is that you are out of touch, that you don't know what's going on in East Pakistan. What is your comment on that?
Well, if a head of a state is out of touch with any part of his country, I don't think he has any damn right to remain the head of state. I'm a soldier, basically, and I'm not a politician. I don't want to stick to this job. The moment I find I'm out of touch with my people, I shall quit. I'm not out of touch with people. I know East Pakistan like the palm of my hand. I've served there in many capacities. I know East Pakistan more than the East Pakistanis know themselves because they haven't got the facilities to move around like I have. So, answer to your question is that I'm not out of touch. I know exactly what's happening. And what's more, I have visited East Pakistan. I will continue visiting East Pakistan. And when you say out of touch, I happen to be a head of a state consisting of 120 million people. Well, I don't claim that I have gone and talked to every one of those 120 million people. I saw on my own TV 2 nights ago a lot of blood flowing in the streets of Ireland. I saw the armed forces going for these civilians, and I saw the civilians going for the armed forces, made me wonder whether I was watching a scene in Pakistan or somewhere else. I was assured that it was in Ireland. So what do you people talk about army genocide and army repression? The basic fact is that no government worth its name will allow lawlessness. No government worth its name will allow this kind of brutal activities against their own people.
भारतीय वजीर आजम इंदिरा गांधी एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में यूं महसूस होता है जैसे अपने आप को यकीन दिलाने की कोशिश कर रही हों कि इनका एक दूसरे मुल्क में मुदाखलत का फैसला इखलाकी था। इनके चेहरे से वाज़ेह है कि ये अपनी मुसरत को छुपा नहीं पा रही क्योंकि दुश्मन को शिकस्त दे चुकी हैं, लेकिन ये छुपाना इनकी ज़रूरत भी था क्योंकि ये अच्छी तरह जानती थीं कि यहाँ जा रहे दुश्मन नहीं, इनका अपना मुल्क था। भारतीय जारहियत के बाद इन्होंने इसे महाजरीन से जोड़कर किस तरह खुद को तसल्ली दी कि इन्होंने ठीक किया, सुनिए।
Realities were obvious, not merely to us, but to most of the world. The realities are that a situation was created in Bangladesh whereby the Pakistani army sought to annihilate an entire population, an entire people, 75 million of them. This was regarded by the world community as an internal affair, although even according to the United Nations, it isn't really. You can't annihilate a whole people and be allowed to do it, even if it's in your own country. But the world community chose to see it as an internal problem. Well, very soon this problem overflowed into our country in the shape of over 10 million refugees who were wounded, starving, ill. They spread a certain amount of disease in the beginning. We had tremendous financial problems to feed them and give them shelter, and then they created administrative problems, social, political problems, and most dangerous of all, a danger to our security. Now this was the situation then. We were told by all the countries that they were doing everything possible to help towards a peaceful solution. We have not been able to see to this date what exactly was done to this end. Nobody has really been able to point this out to us. And if it was a question of talking to the Pak government, well, 9 months is a pretty long time, and if they're not going to listen in 9 months, what guarantee was there that they were going to listen in the next month or two? Now the present reality is that a new country, a new state has come into being. Its name is Bangladesh. It has a government, and it is working hard and fast to bring the country, to bring about normal conditions, and it has, by and large, it has already succeeded.
और बाकी मानदा पाकिस्तान के लीडर जुल्फिकार अली भुट्टो, जो हर तरह से याहिया हुकूमत का साथ देते आए थे और किसी सूरत शेख मुजीब के खिलाफ इलेक्शन की शिकस्त को तस्लीम करने को तैयार नहीं थे, अब चाहते थे कि तस्फिया हो जाए। हालांकि जब तस्फिये का वक्त था, यानी इस इंटरव्यू से करीब 1 बरस कबल, तो इनकी गर्दन में भी वैसा ही सरिया था जैसा याहिया खान की गर्दन में था। अब कह रहे थे कि वो किसी भी समझौते के लिए तैयार है।
Well, why doesn't she vacate East Pakistan now if she has, in inverted commas, liberated East Pakistan? So you will see Indian intentions as time passes. But as far as East and West Pakistan are concerned, with Indian aggression withdrawn, because we cannot really come to a lasting settlement with a foreign country sitting in a part of our country. With Indian aggression withdrawn, I'm quite prepared to, in the name of the people of Pakistan, in the interest of our country and the future of our two peoples, that we are prepared to have as loose an arrangement as the leaders of East Pakistan want.
लेकिन समझौते के लिए अब बहुत देर हो चुकी थी। भुट्टो साहब की बादअज़ां भले ख्वाहिश रही हो कि अब किसी तरह वक्त का पहिया वापस घूम जाए, वो इस हिस्से के वजीर आजम और शेख मुजीब उस हिस्से के वजीर आजम बन जाएं, लेकिन अगर यही करना था तो बंगाल को वापस पाकिस्तान से मिलने की जरूरत क्या थी? ये वो मौका था जो लड़ाई के बाद याद आया था। ये थे वो किरदार जिनके फैसलों ने करोड़ों जिंदगियों का फैसला किया। आज इस पर गम ही मनाया जा सकता है, लेकिन असल सवाल वहीं खड़ा है।